I don't know why we can't get rid of Stephanie White. It's almost like Caitlin Clark can't shake this lady. The girl goes to the Olympics to train. Voila! Stephanie White appears. I'm telling you right now, when this CBA deal get done, if Stephanie White does not get the hell out of Caitlin Clark's way, I am...
This isn't casual frustration. It's someone who's been watching the same pattern unfold for months and has finally hit their breaking point. The question of why Stephanie White hasn't been removed from her position is sparking serious debate in WNBA circles. And the fact that Fever fans are openly voicing the sentiment signals that something significant is happening behind the scenes in Indiana. Most people don't realize that White isn't just Caitlin Clark's coach. She follows Clark everywhere. Olympic training camps, off-season workouts. White is always present. This level of involvement has reached a point where fans are questioning whether it's truly helping or potentially hindering the league's biggest star. With CBA negotiations now entering a critical phase, the timing of this tension couldn't be worse.
It says Fever shares Stephanie White's move amid WNBA offseason. Stephanie White completed her first season with the Indiana Fever. We wish it was her last season. Just saying. Just saying. Here it says, let me get this out of here for y'all, man. There's too much going on. All right. Maybe they don't want me to get rid of that. Whatever. Here it says, Stephanie White had a memorable first season with the Indiana.
Let's lay out the facts. Stephanie White stepped in as Indiana Fever head coach in 2025 after 2 years with the Connecticut Sun, bringing a WNBA Coach of the Year pedigree and strong Indiana ties. She played at Purdue and knows the state's basketball culture inside out. On paper, it seemed perfect. A hometown coach for a hometown superstar. But cracks appeared during her first season that nobody anticipated. The Fever were hit hard by injuries. Caitlin Clark suffered a season-ending injury. Sophie Cunningham went down, and 3 other rotation players were lost before the playoffs even began. Despite this, White guided a shorthanded roster to the semifinals, pushing the eventual champion Las Vegas Aces to 5 games before falling. Most coaches would earn widespread praise for that kind of achievement under such circumstances. So why are Fever fans already calling for her removal before she's even completed a full season?
Public appearance on Wednesday night, the Fever took to social media to share the coach's off-season move. White was at Gainbridge Fieldhouse on Wednesday. The 48-year-old returned to the Fever's home arena, but it was not for the usual reason. This time around, White came as a fan supporting the Indiana Pacers. The Fever and the Pacers share the same arena. On Wednesday, the Pacers hosted the Toronto Raptors. White sat courtside to show her support. The Fever took to social media to announce White's attendance. All right, so there you see.
Listen to how this is being framed. It's not about wins and losses, and it's not even about playoff performance. The core complaint revolves around positioning and opportunity. Specifically, whether Stephanie White is standing in Caitlin Clark's way. That accusation is fascinating because it implies the issue isn't incompetence, it's obstruction. Fans aren't saying White can't coach. They're saying her presence may be limiting Clark's development or impact. When you examine the 2025 season closely, the narrative gains weight. Injuries were catastrophic, yes, but White's management of Clark's minutes when healthy raised eyebrows, as did offensive sets that didn't fully leverage Clark's playmaking ability and media appearances that felt scripted and controlled. These may seem like minor details individually, but together they paint a picture of a coach potentially more focused on maintaining control than on unleashing generational talent.
Foolishness, this clown show circus play out right before our eyes. And there was so many, like the WNBA and the WNBPA have messed this thing up at every single turn. There's been so many mistakes with this Caitlin Clark thing. They have literally ruined it. Like they literally blew the opportunity for this thing to be bigger than ever. And it's just so disheartening.
The WNBA's collective bargaining agreement negotiations. This is where everything converges. The talks have become a circus, with players demanding massive salary increases, while the league struggles to show sustainable revenue growth. At the All-Star game in Indianapolis, Caitlin Clark City, the WNBPA wore "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirts, then deliver one of the most unwatchable exhibitions in recent memory, prompting fans to leave at halftime. Here's the catch. Caitlin Clark is the reason WNBA revenues surged in 2024 and 2025. Her games drew an average of 3.2 million viewers, and when she didn't play, that number dropped by 70%. The Fever sold out every home game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, not because of Stephanie White's coaching, but because fans wanted to see Clark. So when the WNBPA makes demands tied to increased revenue, they're essentially asking to be paid for Clark's drawing power. And when Stephanie White is positioned as the face of that success, it creates a visible discount that fans can see clearly, even if the league refuses to acknowledge it.
You know, we got to revisit some things. Doug Gottlieb was talking about, you know, the WNBPA seems very entitled. I know you saw their response, the letter they wrote. They put the rat in front of the New York City NBA office and all of this stuff. And I think they forget that, Caitlin Clark is really the reason for all this. And a lot of people don't owe y'all stuff, man. WNBA owners have been taking L's year after year after year. And y'all have been getting whatever y'all been getting. But it just kind of seems like a lot of entitlement, man. Let's give a listen to this.
So let me get this straight, okay? The WNBA has this new superstar, okay? This new superstar. And they have a chance with all of the dysfunctions in other sports to capitalize on the momentum of the sport. And over the weekend in Indianapolis, where one Caitlin Clark owns.
Doug Gottlieb nailed it in that clip. The WNBA had a golden opportunity. A genuine superstar who could carry the league to new heights during a time when other sports were struggling with dysfunction, and they fumbled it at every turn. The league allowed veteran players to physically target Caitlin Clark without consequence, while media personalities like Monica McNutt pushed narratives claiming it's all the women, even though the ratings data proved otherwise. The All-Star Game debacle showed exactly what happens when Clark isn't on the court. Through it all, Stephanie White has been right there controlling the Fever's narrative, managing Clark's media access, and making decisions that prioritize team structure over maximizing the impact of their franchise player. That's what fans mean when they say White needs to get out of Clark's way. The comparison to the NBA is instructive. When LeBron James entered the league, the Cavaliers didn't hire a coach to mold him into a system. They built the system around him. When Luka Doncic arrived in Dallas, the Mavericks gave him keys and said, "Drive." That's how you handle generational talent. Remove obstacles, create space, and maximize their unique ability. Stephanie White, by all accounts, is trying to coach Clark like a normal all-star player, with structure, discipline, defined roles, and a team-first mentality. All of that sounds great in theory. But when you have someone who can single-handedly transform your franchise's financial future, maybe the traditional approach isn't the right one.
Hey, we're back in that same predicament of not only people not caring, but people actually pushing it away. And it's going to be blamed. It will, without any question, say, hey, America is male, chauvinistic, anti whatever, alternative lifestyle, whatever, when that's not what it is. Is there some of that? Yeah, there's always going to be something. There's also reality to it, right? Women are less athletic than men. It is not the jaw-dropping athleticism that we're used to seeing in professional basketball. It's just not. Their skill level, though better than it's ever been, is not nor will ever be at the level of men. Right? And yet they want to compare themselves in salary to it. So there's part of that, there's a reality to it.
Now, let's address the entitlement issue, because this is where the CBA negotiations reveal deeper problems within the WNBA's player culture. The league has operated at a loss for most of its existence, with NBA owners subsidizing operations, and essentially her debut created a halo effect that lifted the entire league. Yet instead of acknowledging her unique impact and building a sustainable model around it, the WNBPA made demands as if every player contributed equally to that success. Stephanie White, as coach of the team that benefited most from Clark's presence, has remained largely silent on this dynamic. She hasn't challenged the "it's all the women" narrative or structured the Fever system entirely around maximizing Clark's talent. Instead, She's coached as if it were a normal season with a normal star, and that's why fans are frustrated.
What it is, take it or leave it. And this is why the WNBA is now ignoring the WNBPA still. They're not even entertaining more offers from them. They like, look, y'all know the offer we sent y'all. We sent y'all 3 comprehensive offers. You can either get one of them or it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Get down in the comments.
Adam Silver's response tells you everything. The league isn't promising 30% revenue sharing or NBA level pay. They're offering more money. Take it or leave it. The WNBA holds the leverage, not the players. And that matters for Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark. If the CBA negotiations go badly, if there's a work stoppage, whether she can truly unleash Clark or she'll keep trying to fit her into a conventional system. Fans have already seen what Clark can do when given freedom. Dominate games, carry franchises, create opportunities no one else can. They want a coach who enables her, not one who limits her with structure and control. Here's the reality. Caitlin Clark doesn't need the WNBA as much as the WNBA needs her. She could play overseas, retire, start her own league. If White can't adapt to that reality, she risks being the obstacle in Clark's story, and the fans see it. The question is clear. Is Stephanie White the right coach for Caitlin Clark, or do the Fever need a change before it's too late? Drop your thoughts in the comments.